What's up, everyone? Thanks for tuning in for the 67th, 62nd, I don't know, some version, some edition of Zack Miller Live. I've done so many now that maybe I don't even need to label them. Maybe that's what I'll start doing. Maybe I'll stop saying what episode it is because I always forget. It's 62 of Zack Miller Live, the most originally named show where I go and talk about the things that are hot on my mind or just examples of documenting and showcasing what I'm working on, working through, trying to help you. And today's topic is one of my favorite topics. And it's one of my favorite topics to get started with when I'm meeting with someone who might become like a new client or something, or is interested in maybe starting a business or to expand their business or something like that. And the topic goes like this, or the question goes something like this. What kind of lifestyle do you want? Now, that example can be changed to what type of business do you want? What type of relationships do you want? Now, hear me out on this. So when I ask someone for the first time what type of lifestyle they want, that, and specifically with the business here, that directly can correlate to the amount of money that they would need to make. So if someone wants to travel 15 times a year and each of those trips cost $10,000, they need to be making well north of $150,000 to pay for each of those trips alone if there's no other expenses. Some people just want to be happy. Some people want to maybe go on one vacation and that total vacation costs $1,000. So then they would need to just figure out what their normal expenses are, plus the $1,000 for that trip, and bam, that's it. Now, this question, this topic might seem really silly, but what I found is that people talk about the type of business that they want, but they're actually not interested in living that type of lifestyle, right? So people, not as much as many years before, what's up, Edwin? But many people will say, oh, I want to build the next Facebook. And then when I really ask them, do you understand what's involved in being the next Facebook? They look at me like, yeah, I'm going to be like Mark Zuckerberg and I'm going to be rich, making them dollars rain. The problem is, or the challenge is with that is, Facebook is virtually, in my opinion, impossible to create again. Right? There's no other social network that's ever been bigger. And there's no other examples for that type of business that have ever really seen that kind of scale. Yes, I get it. Twitter has done stuff. Instagram has done stuff. Snapchat has seen growth, but not to north of 2 billion users. So as the anomaly, it's hard to say I'm going to become that next thing, right? And if you really think about it, he started really small and niche and then took over the world. But my example is this, is when you say that you want to live a specific lifestyle, when you say that you are wanting to live a specific life, do you actually understand what you're pairing that with from a life standpoint? Like, if you want to live this elaborate life, but you work at 7-Eleven, you're going to have to make some changes to make that happen, right? Some people create a second business or a second career that might be their own business that allows them to pay for those exuberant things that they want, or just traveling a little bit, right? Some people have a home and they have an extra spare room, or a grandmother's house, whatever they call those things, and they rent that out so that they can have some spare money. Right? There's a ton of different ways that you can be making spare money by leveraging the kind of tools and assets that you already have. And I think a lot of people think that they have to do a lot more to get to this success or the lifestyle that they want. Now, most people, that's a general statement. Some people, I'm going to change my words. Some people look at the career that they have right now and are miserable. I've been there. You've been there. And you want something different. And the lifestyle that you want is to just not be miserable. And I think that's perfectly fine. Then there's other people who have a financial number attached to it. And I think that's fine too. But if you're going to live a specific lifestyle, you have to make sure that you are creating a business that can actually achieve that. So, for example, I was reviewing some of my old material last night from like 2012, 2013. And I was really heavy and big into trying to meet with different kind of startup community people. And I thought I could create this super uber large business off of that. What I didn't recognize at the time, because I was being stupid, is that there's only so many of those people that were looking for that, for the keywords or the type of business that I was approaching them with. And when you take that and divide it by the amount of people, by the amount of money that you want to make, and that number is non-existent or not available, you have to think about things in a different way. And so just be cautious that the type of business that you, or the type of lifestyle that you are looking to create, actually can be, I don't know if this is the word, divisible, probably not. Here's an example. $100,000, the lifestyle that you want to live, right? And then you realize that each of your customers is going to pay you $10,000. That means you have to find 10 people that do that. Just make sure that you can find that. The opposite way is maybe you have $100,000 that you want to make and you're going to sell something at $10. Can you find 10,000 people in that market? Now, 10,000 might seem like a small amount of people, but if you have a super centralized or localized business and there's only 3,000 people in there, you have to do something different. Charge $30 a month, or you get the gist, not GIF. But I think oftentimes we're thinking about the lifestyle that we want, but then we're not actually figuring out kind of the financial model associated with that we can actually get to it. Now, there can be obviously different niches and different kind of avenues involved in the type of career or lifestyle that you create. Could be 5 or 6 or 7 different kind of models to get to that $100,000, which 100,000 divided by 7, let's just say, I don't know, we're going to have to do some simple math because I can't do that math in my head, divided by basically. And I remember when I first came up with this concept, it was probably in 12 or 13, I was showing someone kind of my thoughts on how to do this. And they were like, oh, I never thought of it that way. So basically saying, okay, my product costs this to make. I think I can find this many customers. This is how much money I can make. So the $100,000 that I just used as an example, $100,000, you charge $10,000 per product. That means you need to find 10 customers. The problem is if there's only 5 of those customers, you either have to find a way to double that price, or you have to go out and find people in different places, which some people are not interested in doing. Therefore, you have to figure out different means of income for that lifestyle, which some people are just not up for. Look, I am not here to sit here and say, this is the type of lifestyle that I think that you should live. Live whatever lifestyle that you want to live. I don't care. That's your life, not mine. So, but what I do want you to do is to be thinking about these things in a way that makes financial sense for you and that you understand what you're getting into. Because I think all too often people say, oh, I want to live this type of bougie lifestyle. Bougie, yes, I used that word. First time on Zack Miller Live, I believe. And they don't actually figure out the financial side of that. So be thinking about the financial side of it. I think the 100,000, and 10,000 clients at $10 each, if you can't find that because there's only 7,500 of them, then you got to charge a little bit more, find a different revenue stream in there to make that additional 2,500 or 25,000 bucks, and you'll be better off. So what type of lifestyle do you want? Think about that, right? And then think about the financial ramifications of that and make sure that what you're doing can actually help you get to that lifestyle. That's it. Episode 62. Zack Miller Live, out.